Hey, how y'all doing tonight? It's your boy AR.
And I'm Versatily, aka Tiny.
And we are knee deep in the shit.
And we got some guests, y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all, we been cutting up.
We been cutting up already, man. Pre-gaming.
Already.
You know what I'm saying? We in here with the mad scientist, the incomparable man himself. The best motherfucking producer in the United States of motherfucking America.
For real.
For B33, you know what I'm saying? The man himself.
Man?
And we're here with the Diamond Diva.
Yeah.
The motherfucking one and only. You know what I'm saying? The authentic B-Me! Talk to me nice in this motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
I'm doing
great.
fabulous.
They doing real good. They done had a couple of shots and little
We
stuff.
good. We in the building.
Brandon already mixing with the drinks and the music.
Mix out.
And the music.
Drinks and the music.
Yeah.
My
For sure, though. So, you know what I'm saying? Y'all starting with you, Brittany. Let us know about you. You know what I'm saying? Tell us about you, who you is.
About me.
Yeah.
I don't know what projects that you have going on. Any major goals that you're setting right
Put us
now?
up to date.
Ooh,
What should they know and what should we know?
Go down the list.
Okay. So right now, y'all, my name is B-Me, the motherfucking Diamond Diva, and I just dropped a hot ass album called Aphrodite. You know, themes of self-love, heartbreak, these niggas, and just developing myself, y'all. Go check that out, all platforms. My first short film and music video called Woo just dropped. We filmed it in Atlanta. Baby, shout out to Shot by Ricky, because we tore that thing up. Y'all go check that out. Also on Apple Music videos.
Yeah. How about it? And B.
No, you did really good on your album. I love the album cover.
Thank you.
Good,
I designed it too.
All from the mind of you.
Yes, the creative. So I have a graphic designer, but he was just doing like a lot of placing and giving me some feedback, like Brittany. That might not look right.
But you maestroed it. You
I'm
let them
the
know.
creative visionary for it. Yes.
Okay, indeed. That's what's up.
Yes.
And Brandon, you know what I'm saying? B33.
We in the building.
You know you my partner. I call you Brandon.
You know
the
what
world
I'm saying?
can't call you Brandon.
Yeah, you're one of the only ones called me by my gut man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I love it though.
So let us know about you, nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
Who I mean?
B33, man, Brandon Hobbs. You know what I'm saying? Originally from Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I'm a Georgia boy. By way of Miami and New York.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we cover all grounds. Been in the game for a little while. We've been doing it now professionally, probably for about 8-9 years, making beats and producing and everything else, and looking to expand my horizons in other places soon, probably acting.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even know that's a part of my aspect. So I'm looking to expand real soon, but we just gonna keep continuing to build a brand, man, make a way, and keep doing what we're doing. And I appreciate y'all for having me.
Man, the pleasure is all ours. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate y'all blessing us with your presence.
Yeah, because he definitely was that producer for
Yeah,
definitely go check that out.
Go check that out.
They
Real,
say
Soul Tie.
Lil Wayne, you know what I'm saying?
Lil Wayne.
I will never be a Lil Wayne. This is the man, you know what I'm saying? This is the man. I'm talking about what else?
Man,
we got Do You Ever? Naysay, shit.
Yeah,
Shit.
What else we did? I feel like we got one more.
You got a lot of projects when you got to sit there and think.
Bruh, when I tell you,
think about how
and
much
then
stuff
on
we
the
got.
one, the movie star, man, we got so many with them on the Alphabet Boys joint. Like, bruh, it's like,
oh my God,
it's ridiculous,
that's gonna be
bruh.
crazy.
The best
That's
out,
gonna
the
be
best
crazy.
out.
Appreciate it.
Yes.
But yeah, man.
For sure.
All right, y'all. Well, we gonna get into it, and we gonna ask y'all just some questions based off of what's going on right now. But answer how you would as the superstars that you are. Okay.
Yeah, you got the two most authentic motherfuckers up here.
That's too much talking about.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So,
Talk to me.
okay. So y'all kept up with the Diddy trial. I don't know if you did or not. Everybody know Diddy in some hot heat right now.
They don't be in trouble.
Yes. Now, one thing that I've seen on the internet was about Cassie and how Cassie, compared to Carisha, she was kind of like, Cassie was promised to be a star, but she never really got to that point. You know, being with Diddy was really like her getting her bag versus like Carisha, he gave her her own show.
Yeah.
Like he really invested in her, but she already kind of had her own stuff going on.
Yeah.
So for y'all, is there any amount of money that you are willing to take to put your career aside? Like if somebody gave you like $5 million right now and just said, hey, stop singing, stop beat producing, are you gonna do it?
You can go ahead and answer that.
$5 million.
$5 million?
Yeah, American dollars.
Maybe to compromise. They might want you to do some shit the way they want you to do it. But
Have I already made it or not, is the question.
No, you have not made it yet. But you know, like even in the documentary with Diddy, a lot of these people were like saying that they felt like they had to do stuff because they were trying to get good with Diddy.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if Diddy was to come to you and you didn't know what you know now about Diddy, and he gave you an opportunity, would y'all
Stop doing what I do?
Yeah.
Personally, me, no. That money sound good, don't get me wrong, but that's already a red flag to me. You know, if you paying me to control me in a certain way, the red flag is already there.
He gonna want control with $5 million.
Right.
You ain't gonna be able to do with so motherfucking much.
Right. So my thing is, if I can't even control how I use the money, you know, what is the point of even giving in to the is it really a deal anyway? You know, am I benefited any other way? Like, you know, you come into this industry to talk business, well, let's talk business, you know, but me, you know, one of my things to myself is that I try to say true to myself and authentic as possible.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, being moved, the money ain't never moved me, ever.
Right.
Ever. So, you know, my answer would be, you know, one, is it beneficial? But two, you know, it just depends on the circumstances of things. Personally, I wouldn't, because that's a big red flag for control. But
I feel you.
Makes sense.
My thing is, for me, if you're gonna pay me $5 million to stop, that won't make any sense. Because the thing is this: if you're willing to pay me $5 million, that means I'm worth something. So that's the whole catch within the industry within itself. That's the same thing going back to old boy who played Michael Jackson, and he did The Lion King and all that.
Okay, Justin Weaver and his mama saw
they
the
were about to pay him off or whatever.
She saw the
they
long
had.
haul, yeah.
She saw the long haul. So that's the thing about it. So you have to have a mindset of what you really worth. A lot of people don't know what they're worth yet.
yeah.
They don't even know who they are. So they can be bought out real easy. You can buy yourself out easy when you don't know who you are, you don't know your worth. That's easy.
And people know that higher up.
Yeah.
They know
Yeah,
you.
they know that.
They know you worth more than you know.
Exactly. So if you're willing to throw $5 million at me, that means I have a potential of making 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Nah, I'm good on that. You can keep that. But thank you for the motivation. Because now you just told me my tag.
Put
you
some
told me
fuel
where I
up
can
in
at least
my
start
hand.
at. Exactly. So I'm good on that.
Hell
Yeah. Nah, especially with Diddy. Because the thing is with Diddy back then, and if you look at like Enes and everybody else that came through that whole bad boy scene and making the band, where they at?
He uses you temporarily, and
Right.
when he can't use you no more, you're
Exactly.
You
Because the thing
gone.
is about
Control.
it, I'm not finna put myself in a position where I'm known for crossing the bridge to get you some cheesecake, my nigga.
Hell no, I don't ever want to be associated with that shit.
I'm good.
I don't even
you know
like
what I'm
cheesecake.
saying? Be like, people see Enes, even in the rap battle world, it's like you the nigga that went across the bridge to get the cheesecake.
You can never disassociate
No,
yourself
you
with that. And
good.
that
You
kind of
stuck.
goes in what we're talking about that brand, and we'll come
You
back to
stuck.
that later. But
Yeah.
that's his brand
That's
now.
his brand
That's
now.
him.
That's
you
his
know what I'm
brand.
saying? Like,
No, I'm good.
you done fucked yourself.
Exactly.
Damn. Great
Boy.
answer, bro.
Well, okay, so B-Me, what about, so I had this one rapper who, he told me, he was like, I just want you to stay at home with the kids, and I travel, and I'm gonna take care of everything.
You dated him, right?
What you want me to answer? Would I fall for that?
Would you go for that?
This is a tough answer for me because two things. One, I would love to be in my soft girl era and be taken care of and I ain't gotta work. But then with my mama raising me to be the woman I am, I'm a little hyper independent. So if I'm staying at home with the kids, blah, blah, one, that's one job in itself. Thank God I don't have none.
Take
yet.
these little niggas.
Yeah, please.
a big
But
job.
Single
secondly,
mothers deserve that. That's a lot of work.
it is a lot of
That's
work,
a lot
you know, and that's why I ain't popped none out yet. So, but secondly, it's just more so like I wouldn't be able to imagine myself, one, having a stay-at-home job, but two, it's just more so like, what else can I do to occupy myself so I can be fulfilled? You know, like, yeah, you going out and making this money, you know, you probably providing for the home, whether it's something that you enjoy doing or just something to pay the bills. But me, I'm at home in my shell, and you know, there's a lot of, I have a lot of friends, you know, that have kids and that they run at-home businesses. But realistically, you know, am I going to be able to like put all my time into my business, my kids, and my self-care? I just personally wouldn't go for it because I'm very hyper independent, and you know, that's one of the things with me, not just as an artist, this is who I am. Like, I've been hyper independent all my life, so relying on somebody to kind of have some kind of control over me is just like, it would make me, I wouldn't mind it, but it make me feel uneasy because this is what I'm used to, you know?
Feel you on that.
Yeah, from a male's perspective with a daughter, I would recommend you just have your own
Money.
so you don't ever have to be in the cradle of a nickel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mama said, get your own shit.
Big facts, because even in the, let's say, you know, okay, let's say he don't want to control you, you know? But at some point, it's going, some kind of argument or bullshit gonna pop up and he gonna be like, hey, but you know, remember I put $50,000 for you over, you know, he gonna start tallying up shit.
Yeah, counting.
Just like, acrimony. Remember, Taraji started
acrimony,
tallying up that shit on that nigga at the end. In the course of that shit, it was like, yo, I done spent X amount of dollars. You know what I mean? He gave him $10 million back.
Right.
She was still in her feelings because she had spent X amount of dollars. So that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, but I also, you know, think that it's very important not just for, you know, a woman to have her own money, but to feel accomplished. You know, I can have a dude, you know, buying me all these nice things, the finer things in life. But I'm gonna tell y'all something, baby. As a woman, when you get that shit out the mud yourself, it feels so good because, you know, we're known for relying on our providers. We're known for trying to wait for our man to come home. And it's just like, when you're able to do things on your own, I mean, it gets rough sometimes for women, like.
But it's a flex.
But it's a flex. You feel me? Like, I didn't have to ask no nigga for that. I didn't have to ask my daddy. I wish I could ask my daddy. You feel me?
And a man gotta approach you differently when you that type of woman.
Right.
That
he
is
can't
a
step
good
to
point.
you like he can the rinky dink woman that's a panhandler. You feel
Correct.
me? He gotta come to you. Shit, he gotta put his, you know what I mean? He gotta come with you with respect. But so that you can handle your handle.
But you know what's crazy about that, though, Arson? Like, a lot of people, you know, dudes, from my personal experience, and I'm sure there's females out here that have experienced that as well, but one thing I've noticed, it's very hard for men to match my caliber of what I bring to the table. And I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about the women with no kids, running their own business, making nearly 6 figures, if not more. It's rare to find a match out here like that. And even if they are, even if they are a match, you know, how do you match me? You know, what are some things that you do to bring that benefit and share that benefit so we can grow and build together? Yeah. It's rare. I'm not saying it's not out there, but it's very rare. And usually, shit, from my experience, you know, they kind of turn the other cheek because there's no sense of control. So, I don't know, man. I'm just praying to God to send me a husband one day.
No, because like most dudes, they don't want a gold digger, but like they do want somebody to control. And what I've thought about is like, okay, if the relationship don't work out, then what the fuck do I have to fall back on? Like,
that's true.
You know? To your point, he told you, okay, that told you that he wanted you to put all your eggs in his basket. Where is he now? Is he anything accomplished as a rapper?
He's still accomplished. You know, he's still doing his thing, but he is not with anybody. And I don't think he's going. Well, I'm not gonna say he's not gonna find anybody, but you're not gonna find somebody like me who, you know, has her own goals, dreams, ambitions, or whatever. Like, I don't want to sit at home. I feel like sitting at home get boring after a while.
It do.
So you know,
want to get out in the world.
Yeah, I want the world to know who I am. I want to make a statement before I die.
Hell yeah.
An impact.
Absolutely.
Yeah. An impact. Yeah.
What about you, B? What you think, man? Would you cuff up a chick or would you take
Tracy
care
Ellis
of
Ross says she gonna take care of all your bills. she like
she fine. Hey.
She is. I just depends. I think it honestly depends on the situation, and
that's a good thing.
And because here's the thing, we get so caught up in ego and the way that the world has programmed us to think, to the point where we can sit at home and be at peace, and we think that's a problem. I think about this, 'cause I come from a military background. How many wives are at home right now with their husbands deployed for 6 months to a year to 2-3 years? Are they complaining?
No.
But you know why? Because they know what they signed up for.
That's real as shit.
They knew what they signed up for. I could tell you some stories right now. Some Navy SEALs, when they got killed, and the guys have to come home and tell them that their husband got killed, and they looked them dead in their fucking face and went, "Okay."
Because I already prepped myself mentally for that.
That's what he was bred for. Yeah. That's why I married him. A lot of times we don't get with people for the right purposes. That's the issue.
Amen, brother.
We don't know what we're going into. We're going into it with our own expectations versus what the reality has to offer.
Our own
so know your
place. Talk about it either.
Know your place before you step into it. And if y'all ain't had that conversation to know where your place is, that means y'all ain't even relating. Y'all don't have a relationship. Y'all got a situationship. You see what I'm saying? So it's a difference when you know the scenario and you know what you're getting into, and both parties are involved and both parties are in agreement. That's what marriage and relationships are about, being in agreement, partnerships. We don't know how to agree on shit these days. That's the problem.
Y'all ain't see that Facebook post that was like 2026 if you cheat while you married.
Don't shit like that.
What is it?
Don't shit like that.
If you cheat, I guess like you get compensated or something.
And that's just more of the government implementing this hand into our world.
Yeah, 33 don't like the government.
I know.
Hell no. Yeah,
I love the government for certain reasons, and I hate the government for certain reasons. It's a balance within everything.
I said I didn't want the government to know my relationship status. That's why I get marriage, but honestly, look, we know we married. You can give me the ring and all, but as far as the government, because what if we break up? Then the government got to get into
Exactly. And then you're going to pay the percentage to the government. Same thing with child support and everything else.
Yeah.
Like me, I'm on child support. Since I'm in different states, they take 5% off the rip. Just for me transferring money from one state to the next.
That's crazy.
So it increases.
So my kids are still not, you're right. And my kids are still not getting the full benefits of me.
So if you were to move to 5 different states in a 3-year period, you would go up 25%.
You're getting hit.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So that's once again the government the marriage and the ring thing actually started to the 1920s when the diamond ring became a thing.
A thing. Girl's best friend, all that marketing and all that type
shit. That was marketing.
Shit.
Back in the day, we used to be able to hand each other something and call it a marriage.
What is that?
Handshake.
A feather.
Black people had the barter system. Don't you know about the barter system?
Yeah. Take my little pig.
Exactly. So the whole ideology of marriage within itself became a construct that was government bounded. And that's why when you do get married, you signed a contract. You signed a binding agreement. You're binding yourself to something else or somebody else. You're binding yourself to another entity. So a lot of people don't even realize that marriage, and I don't down talk marriage, it's a beautiful thing when it's with the right person. But at the end of the day, in this nation, it's a contract. It's a business.
Yeah.
So we have to look at things for the reality aspect of it, and versus what the programming has given us. See, that's the thing about me. I don't operate off of programming. I operate off of branding and the way I see it and the way I feel it. That's what God gave me that feeling for, to know when it's right and when it's wrong.
Discernment.
How do you feel about the Travis Hunter and Leanna?
I put it this way. Everybody says, boy, you a fool, you are this and you are that. Why are they saying that? Based off of your own experiences?
Well, based off of her
actions, but nobody knows her actions in the next 10 minutes. Nobody knows her actions in the next 2 years. Nobody knows her actions in the next 5 years. She might look like a gold digger now. It might be the best thing that happened to him.
You think so?
It's a reason that boy married her.
You don't think they're going to divorce?
I can't predict what's going to happen. Deion Sanders called him a fool. Everybody else called him a fool because of, once again, what? The programming. They're going based off of their own experiences of what they've seen. You don't know what the fuck somebody's going to run into in their lives. Let people live them and mind your goddamn business, and maybe shit'll be all right. half the problem with what we do these days anyway is because we have everybody else's input in it.
Here's
half every, and then everybody walking around here talking about I'm 100%, I'm real, I'm this and that, but you quit to listen to what the next man has to say. Girls, boy, go sit the fuck down, please. If you can't have the relationship with God that he promised you already and be able to speak to him directly by yourself and get your own insight on how to move, then sorry, honey, you're just being played. You're just another piece on the chessboard. And you know what happens with pieces on the chessboard? They get knocked off until it gets to the queen. So what are you? You're the queen or you're a pawn?
Message.
I don't know. I'm still looking at that prenup.
Yeah.
I'm still looking at that prenup.
And the prenups are fine. I mean, if you want to sign a prenup, I think a prenup is because you have to think about it. Everything that's formulated within this world comes from a thought. So a prenup, to me, is an assumption that we're already going to fuck up somewhere down this line.
Well, I disagree with that.
I get what you're saying.
I disagree with that.
But you got to understand, you put things in the atmosphere. You put things in the atmosphere.
True.
So when you're signing something saying, hey, just in case we mess up, you already done put that energy, even though it might be small, you already put that energy in the air that something's going to fuck up.
What about all the people that didn't sign them and they still had a fucked up situation?
That's very true. That's very true. Once again, know what you're getting into before you get into it.
Yeah, I know.
But you do realize
people change over time.
Yes.
Things change over time.
Or people rush into things because they haven't explored the person. And I remember I was working at the Waffle House. Y'all, them old ladies would always tell me, I was dating this boy, my first love in high school. And they were always like, Brittany, you don't know him yet. I said, well, I've been dating him for 5-6 years. You don't know him yet until you live with him. Baby, when I tell you, child, whole different type of person.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, I was raised, well, don't move in until you're married. Well, baby, and that's what they called it. But now when I'm listening to these old ladies at the Waffle House, it's like, maybe you kind of got a point, because I need to cover my ass. I need to protect myself at the end of the day, especially with our age not being mature enough to really, really understand what love is. A lot of people don't understand what love is, and it's that divine connection, that ability to forgive, show compassion, be a partner. You feel what I'm saying? So personally, me, like, I feel like people jump into marriage and they're not truly understanding what it is.
The severity of it. People want that fucking that wedding, them pics, that glamour, that reception,
all that shit,
that memory, and then after that,
what is it for real?
It ain't shit. And to your point, I don't want a bad mouth marriage, but to you, it's just fucking. It's a contractual. The American marriage is a show.
It really is.
The Americans,
it really is.
The show, it ain't like third world marriages where they actually help each other and struggle together and push each other. This shit here is a fucking... And also to a point about the prenup, like I was telling you the other day, a prenup is really just a way of deciphering who legally gets what in the event of a marriage from a breakup in a marriage, so that the government don't be able to put their grimy hands in there and split it up according to how they feel.
It's insurance.
It gives you a chance to be like, okay, look, baby, I got 50 mil. You helped me get 20 of that meal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'll set you up for life. I'll give you a percentage of this business. I'll do that for you if it fucks up. You know what I'm saying? And if she don't, if y'all really in love and y'all there for each other, it'll give you an opportunity to really talk and see what each other's mind is on another level.
You know why the government get involved?
Because they pimps?
Well, kind of, but it's kind of what 33 said earlier. It's because people can't agree. People can't come to a compromise, a common ground. The government don't have to get involved if we can evenly sit down, be mature. Okay, you take this, I'll take this. You take this, I'll take this.
But they know we can't.
That's the prenup.
Here's the thing. I seen this one interview. There's this dude. He has a joint bank account with his wife, and she's still on it. He was like, she can swipe that card as much as she wants to, and he's not taking her off because he was like, you was with me when I built my business, and he was like,
when you built the business.
He did have a prenup, and he gave her a certain amount or whatever, but he was like, we still got a joint account. She can take whatever she wants.
That's love. Because when you truly love somebody, it doesn't matter if we're not together.
Exactly. I still want you to win.
I still got my ex-wife and I still got my baby mama, and I talk to them all the time, and I tell them every time I talk to them, I appreciate you. Thank you. You're taking care of my children.
You did tell me that.
You're holding it down. Yeah. You looked after me. Even though we're not together, you have a spot in my heart that will never be taken away.
And that helps you sleep better and move better and feel more.
Even when I get, if God lets me get big or whatever may have you, I promise you, they're going to get broken off. Bump a prenup, bump a child support, bump all of that. I'm a trump that. Y'all know what y'all doing? You're taking care of my children.
Factuals.
You taking care of me, another version of me at the end of the day.
I used to tell my baby mama
that's love right there. You feel what I'm saying? And that's why that's what I think everybody should be able to come to. The problem is, once again, the government is able to put it in his hand because they know, based off of the programming they've given us, they already know the outcome. So when you already know the outcome of things, you know how to set things in place where you can benefit from it. That's sales 101.
So they banking on divorce.
They banking on it. They banking on everything off of
They
us.
know that the society they set up is made to create rifts in a marriage, in a union.
Yeah.
So, we're going to make everything high and oppress motherfuckers and then, make it sexualized media with, everything popping out.
We're going to show you the beauty of getting married with, married a bride, and they're going to pick out the dresses. They got shows for that. And then they got shows for motherfuckers goddamn that's fighting. Yeah. They got shows for everything for you to goddamn guide your relationships and everything with. Yeah. And the longer we sit in front of the TV doing this, believe me, that's how you're going to operate. And they bank on that. So they know your future before you're going to get to it. They just waiting to get the check.
Sometimes I understand why Amish people are Amish people.
Bingo.
Why they would want to remove themselves, get off the grid, and just detach from all the worldly sinful shit, because this shit programs and fucks up a lot of shit.
Especially
you know what I'm
media.
saying?
Especially social media.
The TV, social, all of it. Even the TV. He was talking about before social media, we was getting programmed like this back in the 80s and the 90s, man. Subconsciously. I just, it's wild. It's wild.
Thank you for tuning into your TV program.
Yeah, if you have mesothelioma, you are in trouble. Motherfuckers been playing for years, in our face. Yeah. Blatantly. Sick.
Okay. Well, let me ask y'all. Okay, so we talked about, there's no amount of money that y'all willing to take for your careers.
My dignity.
Now, what if, because me and AR talked about, we talked about like 90s movies. You was talking about Friday, how the cast on Friday got paid, what was it, $5,000?
Yeah, I heard them say, several cast members say they got paid $5 million for the iconic Friday. Yeah. Imagine that shit.
So, would you take a gig based off of the people that's around you, and it's like a good networking thing for crumbs, or maybe not getting paid at all?
Go ahead.
What's the question again?
So, would you take a gig that might help you as far as networking with the right people, but you ain't gonna get paid, or you might get paid a little bit. It's not what you was hoping for.
I think it depends on my worth at the time. Everybody got to start somewhere, and I think there's no problem. Personally, there's no problem with doing things to join a network or to do things to gain other benefits. It's not all about the money all the time. You have to start somewhere and get your foot in the door. But I do think that it's very apparent and necessary that you understand who you are when you are talking the business, are talking up gigs and getting yourself through the door. How are you portraying yourself to solidify your worth to the person that is looking at you? I just think that I don't know. I think that sometimes people lose themselves by the dollar sign, because they ain't come from much, and I'm one of those people, not coming from much, living in homeless shelters and, just holes in my clothes and stuff like that. Not these holes, but actual holes in my clothes,
I've been the holy man.
So, I think it's very important that you establish, your worth and understand your dignity, who you are. But it depends. Like I said, I'm a very divergent thinker. I look at things from all aspects. It depends on the offer, and where you are in your expertise in that field.
I think it's at the end of the day, especially when it comes to Friday, Are any of those actors hurting right now? Think about it.
I don't think so.
From Mike Epps, Chris Tucker, Bernie Mac.
That shit still
Bernie
play
Mac,
on
rest in
TV.
peace.
But he was okay before he left.
Listen, it was a beautiful idea. They went for it. Even though the money might not have been great up front,
They put him on.
boy.
If they wouldn't have started before that, it was a
Think about what
motherfucking
Cat
star.
Williams would have been without a Next Friday.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been. That's why I heard of him. Money Mike, I'm a boy naming. That's why I heard.
Chris Tucker is known for smoking for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing
Yeah.
about it. You're building legacy at the same time. Because I've seen people just, low budget movies, even Sinners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was a low budget movie. They didn't have a huge budget for that.
They didn't have a bunch of
at
scenes
all.
either.
They had Michael B. Jordan playing two parts. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's not a huge budget, but look at what they did with it.
They came up.
Look at the legacy they done created with that. Look at the hysteria they've created with that. Yeah. And that within itself is going to pay them for the rest of their lives.
Wow.
Mike Epps can go right now and book any show he wants to, I guarantee it, because of Day Day. And they still call him
My roof
Day Day.
grid.
They do. They still call him Day Day.
That shows you the value in the product versus the value of the money. The money will come if you focus on what the aspect of what you're doing is. And that's what a lot of people lose focus on.
The journey.
They lose
journey.
They get
lose
so
focus
tired
the
of
journey.
being broke and just not appreciated that it can be deterrent. But you got to just keep the faith and keep going.
And think about Chris Tucker and all the roles he got after that. Now you're talking Money Talks. You're talking all these
Rush
roles
Hour.
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour was it.
I mean, motherfucker had made, was it 4 or 3 or 4 of them?
It was 4.
Yeah.
4?
It was 4.
That's
You
like
see what I'm
fucking
saying?
Bad
Like-
Boys. Like, that's a franchise at this point. Like,
Pretty sure it was 4.
Yeah.
wow.
He
You
did
can't
all
pay
about
for
the
that.
Benjamins.
You can't pay for that.
And I think, Brandon is making a really good point when it comes to legacy. Like, I think one of the problems is that people are not patient enough. Like, I'm one of them people, but I get impatient with myself. You feel me? Out of all things. But I think when it comes to the journey and, seeking that end of the tunnel, and yes, I finally got here. I think sometimes people take any opportunity because it's like, oh, here's the next step. Okay, one step closer. And it's like, is that opportunity good for you, or does it leave a legacy like you would think? So I think that, Brandon made a really good point when it comes to an everlasting legacy, because a lot of people don't have that patience in their journey and understand that they still have this growing to do. Not just in the expertise, but as far as development, like who am I as an artist? Who am I as an actor, actress? And how can I make this influence when I leave? What legacy am I leaving behind? Because they might have gotten paid $5,000 for that Friday, but each time it air on TV.
Exactly.
Each time, and you're having these leftover movies like Rush Hour. Now you made 1, 2, 3, 4. So
Exactly.
I think it's just a matter of your journey and being patient in the process and knowing that it will come.
Yeah.
As long as you're not running in circles doing the same thing, it will come. You just have to, trust in God or whoever y'all higher power is. Trust that it will come, have a good heart, and leave your legacy to work up to it.
Exactly. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Indeed.
So you said something about like knowing your worth too. So when would you turn down? Because like there's some, like for instance, my Target gig, like I didn't get paid, and I didn't even know I was doing it. Like I literally signed the contract before I knew what it was for. So sometimes you don't even know, and it came out to be something big. So like, how would you determine if you gonna like turn it down because you feel like you worth more?
You can find coaches in the game right now, y'all. Like 33 was actually with me yesterday. Like right now, I have a music attorney. Like I have to really be cautious about, okay, does this person have the best interest at heart? Not just for me, but for what we're doing. Sometimes, you have to think about not just you, but is this partnership going to be fruitful? Thank you so much. Fruitful. And it cannot multiply from this. I think, when it comes to needing advice, have people in your corner. You can't do it on your own. And I can honestly say all the people that's in my corner, I have learned from, they have grown with me, and they give me the game. Sometimes, even when you said something about, you were like, well, how do you determine your worth? Well, one, you have to know who you are. And two, the people around you, who do you surround yourself by? Are they giving you the knowledge and the education and
what are they doing?
What are they doing? And sometimes I just have to look at it like, can this person coach me or educate me in a way that I can move forward? And can I trust this person in this type of position if it were me? Or does this person know what they're talking about? I think just honestly get coaches, mentorship, and have people in your corner and know who is for you. Because people will be for you just to kind of get themselves in the door.
Let me pick it back off just why it's all about to your point right there.
Sure.
You got to make sure you got motherfuckers around you that understand who you are too.
Ooh, say it again.
Because if you don't, you could potentially have,
Right.
You could potentially have 2 or 3 things. You could have a motherfucker right up under your circumference, under your nose, trying to outdo you and compete with you.
See it all the time.
You could have a motherfucker that don't believe in you to your full potential, and now they're not putting forth the correct effort to be beside you because they don't realize it. Or you could not even be exemplary in putting forth the shit that really shows who you are. So they don't really get it yet entirely. But you gotta make sure that motherfuckers know who you are. And if they can't, then cut them off because that ain't gonna help you.
Unfriend, block, delete.
I just had to say that because you was making me think. You know what I mean?
No, I think you made a very good point because, and that's part of the reason I talk to a lot of older people, so I learn from them as well. But I think it's very important, I think you made a really, really good point, Arson, for people watching the people that's in your corner. Like, do they believe in you enough? It's one thing to believe in yourself. I'm that nigga, like I can do this, I can do that. But sometimes it might come off as arrogance if you don't have the people in the background rooting for you as well. So I think it's, I definitely could piggyback off that and definitely agree with what you're saying, because if people don't realize what kind of person you are and know how valuable and resourceful
you are.
Like
I just said, Brandon is the hottest fucking producer in the country.
Yeah, he is.
He ain't got to worry about saying that because if he with AR can't do what AR do without his genius.
Correct.
So I'm going to make sure I let you know what the fuck going on. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you need motherfuckers around you with that energy that's going to put that motherfucker. Hey, Bronx do me like that, man. When Bronx is on his own shit now, and I respect what Bronx is, but there was a time in our Bronx that let motherfuckers know, the rawest nigga, you not finna fuck with AR, and that hype me up. That make me be my best.
Exactly.
And then I can return the energy right back. You see what I'm saying? We can't watch the other. That's basketball.
Iron sharpening
Everybody
iron.
passing the rock, looking for good shots. You know what I'm saying? Off the strength of another motherfucker. You set a pick for me, I can go around you and get a good shot. That's real shit, man.
Exactly.
That's real shit, man. Blocking for me in football. You gotta help niggas, man, on your team. You got to.
Absolutely.
You got to.
I think y'all brought a really good point with the people that you surround yourself with. So we know the Tory Lanez and Meg Thee Stallion thing. Me and AR, we kind of talked about it, and we were like, it kind of seems like now, despite what they've done, with their musical careers, it's almost become their brand. That every time you bring up Tory, you kind of, that you thinking about Meg and, the things that she's done, and vice versa. Like, when you bring up Meg, like, sad to say, like, you think about Tory, and you're like, okay, like, that's a fucked up situation. So, do y'all, and AR brought up some good examples, too. He was bringing up, like, Bobby and Whitney, how that's their brand. Even though Whitney is probably, like, one of the greatest singers of all time, like, her brand is, I love you, Bobby.
Drug abuse, unfortunately. Drug abuse overshadows a lot of the greatness Whitney brought to the table.
Yeah, because our recent documentary, you didn't see nothing negative about that. They did really good with that.
I noticed that too.
But shout out to Keon Washington. Because they motherfuckers said, if you gotta watch this movie, it's gonna be worth it. I'm like, I'm always hot shit on my shirt.
That was a great way to rebrand her to a new audience.
Baby, I was hooked.
That ain't from my era that knows about Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Even Bobby Brown with Shannon Sharp. Shannon didn't ask him nothing about none of that wild shit, and it was still a good interview. Like, you can do it, but unfortunately,
it's attached.
The masses know. You can bury it or put a Band-Aid on it, but the motherfuckers know, unfortunately. And how do you detach that? How do you get yourself in a place, in a space where you can kind of crawl back from that? Can you?
You can. I believe you can. I think, but you got to think about it.
Everybody that's like the Chris Brown and Rihanna situation.
Another good one. Another great one.
That shit's still on his head to this day.
Everybody.
And knock him out Brown.
And they even gave him the real story. And it was like, what are we still mad at Chris Brown for? Like, I see why, but it's more so like, how do you differentiate? How do you come back from that? Because that was years ago.
He was almost 20 years ago, almost 2 decades ago, and that man is still...
Was he almost 20 years ago?
I promise you that happened in 2008, 7. Hell, it's 25.
That's probably...
It's 18, 17 years ago. Easily.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Easily.
And I'm a fan of both, because I fuck up some Savage X Fenty.
I love both of them.
Me too.
I love me some Savage
Fenty. I think everybody has been through their own struggles. And if you notice, everybody in the game pretty much that has made an impact, they always dealt with something. It was Michael Jackson with the kids thing, Luther Vandross with the gay thing, Marvin Gaye with his ex-wife thing. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to go through something. That's what makes us who we are. It's not the fall. It's the get up.
Get up.
That what makes him really, that what makes it, because I don't care how many times you call Chris Brown a woman beater. He still can charge you $2,000. Gonna give him a hug in the background.
And it be women doing it.
So if he's that bad, who would pay that much money to get next to the abuser?
Correct.
Not only that, you go to certain shows. They have shown. It was a modeling show that they had, fashion show. They went to. Chris Brown was sitting over here. Rihanna walked her ass all the way around to make sure she gave him a hug. He stood up.
Yes, I seen that.
Held up for a little while, and they went on.
Because that magic, the point like you made earlier about your baby mamas having that place in your heart. Sometimes you can come across a person in your life on this journey that holds a place in your heart, and it ain't nothing that the outworld or the naysayers or the tabloids or whatever the fuck you want to call it can do to sabotage.
It's your perspective, and
you know what I'm saying?
It's at the end of the day your decision.
Is it more so like you just have to not give a fuck? Like,
it's a level of understanding that you have to have. Most people would not get to a level of understanding with themselves, let alone somebody else. You see what I'm saying? So I have luckily been a good guy in my life, but I also been a really fucking bad villain in my life too. So I understand the balance between the two. I've done some really good things in my life, and I did some dirty, grimy shit in my life. So who am I to judge the next person? Because I know like that too, who I'm becoming. It's not who I became, it's who I'm becoming. And that's going to be the same narrative to the day I die. If you stop growing, you're dead already. So when people get to the point where I'm this, or I'm that, sorry, you just hit a dead end.
I know that
you just hit a dead end.
No more growth.
You just capped yourself. And that's what we were talking about the other night is titles. You know what I'm saying? We've become to the point where that's why I never say I'm the best producer, blah, blah, blah. I am this, I am that, because you claim that as a title. A title is ownership. What do you get when you buy your car? That's the title. You own it. So now that becomes who you are versus that's who you are and what you're doing. So I'm not a producer. I'm Brandon Hobbs that does production.
Yep, there you go.
To know everything is to know that you know nothing. To be everything is to be nothing. Be like water, like Bruce Lee used to say.
Fill a cup
you put
of
water in the teapot, becomes the teapot. You put water in the kettle, becomes the kettle. Be like water, my friend. Flow like water.
That's it.
Become. So that's what we close. We get these college degrees and we get these accolades. I'm an alpha. I got my doctorate. This and that. But are you a good person?
Nah.
What kind of?
I know a lot of motherfuckers that got goddamn degrees and still can't have an intellectual conversation.
Correct.
I know more vocabulary words than they do. No, you just went and found another system of programming that you was able to acquaint to. And you became really good at it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, my one-sided track mind ass nigga.
And I think
Congratulations, you got a master's in being just that.
And the motherfucker proud of it.
And proud. I'm this. Well, I got a doctorate degree, but you still ain't shit.
Well, act like you're beneath them. Because
Right, but then your husband's still out cheating. But then you still hoeing. But then you still, bitch, don't try me because you got a little piece of paper that says you something. What your soul say? What does your spirit tell about you? Because I see a lot of motherfuckers with plenty of accolades and they soul ain't about shit.
The apocalypse come tomorrow. What the fuck you gonna do?
Done.
Yep.
Done. What all those accolades mean? Matter of fact, no, COVID showed us. When you can't go into your workplace, who are you?
Who are you?
And you got to sit at home like everybody else.
That COVID
And you got your doctor's degrees, but you can't go out there and fire up a grill when the lights go out or the power go out and shit like that. You don't know how to manage yourself, bitch. That doctor ain't doing shit for you.
That's what made me get a little beside myself.
Give me
the pandemic.
Give me Taylor, that goddamn
motherfuckers. Corporate motherfuckers was fucked up. That was good. I was like,
you can't Uber, you can't do it. Niggas like this. What do we do?
The pandemic.
I don't know. You tell me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, what does that fucking mean if you can't go out there and get dirty and goddamn plant your own garden, know when to harvest, know when to you don't know how to do basic shit to survive. Who are you as a man or a woman? Because you got a little doctorate degree that you're putting on the internet to run. What if the internet shut down? That's why I've been looking at a lot of females and even dudes these days. You depending on shaking your ass in front of a camera. What if the camera go down?
What if your butt get fucked up?
What if it pop?
You know, cellulite get in that butt and it don't pop visually the way it used to.
What are you riding on? So that's the thing about me. At the end of the day, it's all about character. You know what I'm saying? Because I done been in rooms with I went to Florida A&M, but I didn't graduate. I didn't. But at the same, you know what I'm saying? I've gotten in rooms with people with master's degrees, doctorate degrees, and I've had a conversation with them and blew them the fuck away.
Yep.
Because I'm not talking about my degree, I'm talking about my life experience. Life will teach you way more than a fucking book.
And I got two of them, and I agree with Brandon.
Even with the Bible, whatever book you read, it still talks about the living word. You have to live this shit to know it. It ain't about reading and reciting and sending that shit and get a motherfucker to shout on some fake ass shit and think you're doing something. No, are you really telling a real story? These allegories and everything else that we read in the Bible and everything else, they were really just the pictures of what we do as people and how our body functions. A lot of people don't even realize that. So you have to realize that you're the MC. You're the main character in your own story. And once you know that, then nothing can stop you. But as long as you think you're just the supporting cast or the people in the background laughing, ha, 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 when they hold up the sign, say applause, then you will always be a pawn. You will always be somebody that could be manipulated and controlled. You would never be the actor or the main character. Once you learn how to become the main character, nothing else fucking matters. Everything else starts to formulate around you. Because Fresh Prince of Bel-Air without Will Smith, we're not really going to do this episode.
We're not watching that shit. And
Martin,
I love culture.
without Martin, ain't Martin. See what I'm saying?
Cold.
So be the main character in your own story. You don't have to worry about a supporting cast.
Oh.
Talk to me nice.
So that's why going back to Stephen saying what you said when you have people in your corner. Yes, it's good to have people in your corner. I believe that.
But it's not for the support though.
Right, exactly. It's just to help give you the game. I think we all should be able to reach out to people and get pieces of the game. But the real game is going to come from right
you
here.
And within. Yep.
Your heart, your mind, your soul.
Yep.
If you don't connect those three pieces to yourself first, people can tell you all the good game in the world, and it's gonna go in one ear and not the other, because you don't even know who you are.
Or you'll take it in and get fooled.
One or the other.
So.
Because people can spit game, but is it the right game is the question.
Is it the right game? Yep. Yep.
I can put you on a chessboard, or I can put you on a Monopoly board, but If I say go left and go around the board backwards versus going around this way, you're playing the game all wrong. You're playing the game,
but it's
you're
wrong.
playing it all wrong. So what are you really gaming?
Not a damn thing.
Okay, so going back to brand, like, how do y'all feel like you portray your brand so people know who you are? You know, going back to what you're saying, like who you are in your full essence. Like, how do you portray your brand within, I guess, be me, your music, your.
Oh Lord. I could talk for days on this shit.
Put it up. Yeah, put it right there.
So, sorry. So personally, wait a minute. Don't tip the camera. Okay, is it on me now? Is it on me?
He gonna have to fix it.
Okay, that's okay, cause I'm gonna fix it. Okay. No thing but a chicken wing. You know, that's why I felt like it wasn't a good idea to put it there. Now we're gonna end up cutting Brandon out, but it's okay. Okay.
And then he can get back.
So, the question was how. Oh, it's in the middle? Yeah, let's not. Yep. That's okay. That damn Brandon. Did Brandon not use the bathroom before we started? You got it? Can you see my baby Austin?
Yeah.
Kinda. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so going back to brand, like, how do you portray your brand, whether it's in your music or just how you know, carry yourself amongst people?
For Be Me, I think I have I'm just gonna put it out there. My personality is very big, man. It's out of this world. It's out of this world. Sometimes it overwhelms people. Sometimes people love and accept me for who I am. And one thing about my brand, I'm known as the Diamond Diva. So with the diamond being, diamonds are the toughest mineral on earth. Hard to scratch. The only thing that can scratch me is another diamond. So I stand for resiliency, tough love, confidence, shine bright like a diamond. That's what I do, you know? So sometimes it might be a little misconstrued when it comes to my confident aura. But when I know who I am, I can't let that shit shake me. You feel me? Part of my brand is being a diva. You know, sometimes that gets taken very much so out of context. But that's, you know, biting off of what we said earlier, you know, knowing yourself and with the people in your corner growing behind you and growing with you and building with you, your brand is there for itself. And I think it's very important, you know, when you're building your brand to not confuse the two with who you are and what your brand stands for. I also believe that it's very important to understand that, you know, when you're building your brand to differentiate who you are from the outside world, because people will take your brand, misconstrue it, give it a whole different meaning than what you originally stated for. So as for Be Me, the motherfucking Diamond Diva, I'm always gonna be bodaciously me. A lot of people don't know what bodacious means, and it means admirable, excellent, attractive. And I stand for that. I will never, ever let nobody see me fold, whether it's on camera, whether it's in person. I might get a little overwhelmed, overstimulated at times, but I'm not gonna let nobody see me fold, because then I can't shine my light into other people. I express my confidence, my word, my authenticity in the way that I do, because I want to inspire other people to do better, to become better. Sometimes it might come off as arrogance, but baby, that's not my problem. That's your perception. You know, sometimes we have to take a look at ourselves and do a lot of introspection. Like, what is this woman really trying to give off? Like, what does she stand for? What is she about as an artist? Is she interested enough to get to know as a person? And I think a lot of time with my brands, it kind of gets misconstrued between the two, because I don't get outside and listen for business, y'all. Other than that, I stay at home. And then I barely be at home because I be at work all the time, working like 60, 70 hours a week. So I think branding is very important, and to just really stand in your truth when it comes to your brand. I'm the motherfucking Diamond Diva. Ain't nobody gonna ever take that away from me.
Talk it.
I can dig that. When it comes to me, and I love that perception of it. To me, I'm a little bit different. I'm actually the exact opposite.
Sorry,
Behind
that's
the
so well.
scenes. How do you even get your brand? Because like you
work and action.
Okay.
I'll have to tell you what I am. You'll see it. You don't have to. I'm like more like a Kevin Gates. I ain't finna sit. I mean, my brand is this. I don't have one.
So how do people know you did a song?
Huh?
How do people know you did a song?
They'll see it on the credits.
No. Is this what you want?
There you go.
Yeah. You know how many places I have been?
She said, there you
know how many places I have been where people know my tag and don't know my face?
A lot.
They'll be listening to a song and I'm like, I made that. They'll be like, you lying.
Oh, you did, and then
you blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I don't, see, the thing is with me, I have been at that point where I wanted to be the outside character. I wanted to exemplify and exonerate some type of form of me for people to take on and portray. At the end of the day,
you the main character.
What's gotten me my respect is the realness. It's the flaws. Like she said, she don't want to show her flaws, or she just wants to show that side of her to inspire. You're never going to see me down. I want you to see me down. You know why? Because that's where the real character is developed. Mm-hmm. I want you to see.
I didn't say I never want to see you down. I said I'll never fold.
Yeah, either way.
There's plenty of times I will be down, and people know my story. But to see other people, if people will never know nothing unless I tell them.
That's true.
Because people talk, and that's what people are gonna do. They're gonna villainize you whether you're doing good or bad. I don't mind people seeing my flaws because that's what makes me. But when it comes to me getting out of character, me stepping away from my brand, that confident aura, that attractive aura, that knowing who I am in my authenticity, nobody can take that from me because people don't want to see you do well.
I mean, that's true. I think, and I agree with that, but I think at some point, even that's going to get tested to a certain extent.
It does get tested.
You know what
absolutely
I'm saying?
right.
And that's what's going to show your true character because people don't even realize, even if you want to go to the biblical stance, Jesus knows exactly who he was. He was doing miracles, performing everything else, and he still let them people hang him on the cross. And even though he had the power that he had and knew what he could do,
he never folded though.
He did. With these words, Father, why hast thou forsaken me?
Forgive them for that.
It was
not know what they do.
It was a quick second where he forgot.
He had a lot of humanizing moments throughout his career.
Throughout the whole story.
I've been reading stuff.
But even when you're on the cross, even though you can get off, you can do whatever you want to do. You can tear these people up if you want to. He still had to think about it. Even him had to question. They say you never question God. Bullshit. You always question God. Because God is the question. The unanswerable question.
He wouldn't give you all the knowledge.
No.
Shit he give you if he didn't want you to question.
Because when you know everything, that's when you stop growing.
Yeah.
So it's always, we get these little tidbits on what we need in order to develop and grow.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we all have to get to that point. Before you truly know who you are, you're going to have to be drugged through the mud. And people say mud and they
the trenches.
I'm talking about when you're in a ditch by yourself crying and nobody's there to call.
There, yep.
It's very humbling though.
It's humbling.
Yeah, you got to humble yourself.
I've been
that
there.
What makes you a person. That what makes you a woman. That what makes you a man. Mm-hmm. That what gets guys out of the trenches when they're in war. Mm-hmm. When it's live or die. I don't have a choice. Nobody's finna come save me.
You gonna get up screaming, ah!
Right.
Shooting at him.
Live or die. Live or die. It's up to you.
Meet my little friend.
But a true test of a warrior is through the war that you're willing to go through. The shit. So the thing is with me, and what I want my impact to be is I want you to know my flaws because I want you to be able to relate to me. Yeah. I want you to be able to see, damn, he went through that too? Damn, I'm not the only person dealing with that? No, you're not.
Because social media kind of makes it to where we only portray the highlights, you know.
It's a perception.
Yeah, and you know, to your point, you know, we don't want to show our flaws. We want everybody to feel like everything's good over here.
Make sure you get
but feeding off of that, I think that's what makes people. I actually read it in a book, and that's what when you appear perfect to the masses, that's what makes people dislike you. Mm-hmm. And the only way that I do show my flaws, because I inspire a lot of people. A lot of people are inspired by other people, but the way I do it is I talk about it in my music. People think, oh, you think you all this because you got awards. You think you perfect. It's like, no, have you listened to my music? I would never tell somebody my business because I'm not the type of girl to just vent over and over and over. I talk about it in my music. Yeah. So if you want to get to know me, you have to get to know me. Either grow with me and build with me like 33 has. Me and 33 have a great relationship. Sometimes we tidbit bump heads, but it's not nothing that we would fall out over. He has grown to know me and love me, and so we can build together. But when it comes to, knowing who you are, it's just like, how do I get people to relate to me if I don't trust nobody? How do I get people to relate to me if I don't want nobody judging me? Well, I found a way. You listen to my music. I don't care about the stream. I don't care about the money. I don't care about none of that. If you want to keep your distance but trying to figure out who I am, don't watch my page. Don't talk to other people. Approach me and get to know me. I heard one time, somebody was like, well, Brittany, you don't think that can be like overwhelming with your big personality? Probably so. But listen to my music because that's how you will get to know the best me. I talk about my flaws. I talk about my mistakes. I talk about living in the shelter, holes in my shirt. I talk about jail, even using fucking napkins as fucking tissue at one point. I've been through the struggle and I talk about it. But you have to be able to relate to other people in a way that you would feel safe doing so and it be okay within yourself. Because I don't tell my business and that's just who I am.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I do feel like vulnerability is really good to connect with your audience. But at the same time, like what y'all said, we were talking about the Skilla Baby. I don't know if y'all saw Skilla Baby got shot. I don't know if it was a lot of rounds. It was like 20-something rounds. And he got shot in his own city. And
not the own city.
Yeah, but you know what though? That seems to be like the thing. Like a lot of people get shot in their own city. You think about Nipsey, was it Mo3? He got shot in. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
That was crazy. First
that
of all,
was crazy.
Why did you get out the car?
Because his gun was in the other
I
side
would
of
have
the
reached
car.
over. I'm not getting out the car. Like
this shit, right?
Yeah, he probably thought he could get to it and miscalculated the time. The nigga was running up.
Bruh.
That's how shit be in real life, real street shit. Shit happen and you got a little frame of time to figure out what you gonna do.
Exactly.
And even with Young Dolph, he got shot in his own city too.
Like that.
So
They say he pulled out and all in the cookie shop. Niggas was already got the drop on him. Like, what was he gonna do?
Exactly.
That shit crazy.
There's nothing you
man.
can do.
Nothing you can do. It's your time. It's your time.
Right, exactly. So what the fuck you finna be scared for?
So how do y'all feel about? It seems like it's like almost like a trend. Like you get a lot of hate from your own city, and
Of course.
that should be the people that's really trying to put you on the
because they know
map.
everything about you. They know your vulnerabilities. They know, where you came from.
If I knew that nigga when he was
Right.
in first grade.
But do you know him now?
Yeah, that nigga lame, man. Yeah, he used to sing on the choir.
But what you doing?
Exactly.
But what you doing?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny you said that because that's the same thing with me. I was the church kid. I was the nerdy kid.
I was a church
Graduated
kid.
with a 4.0. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, people didn't know once I got that 4.0, I was going home and get my face smashed in.
That's what I'm about to say. People
By a
don't know.
grown-ass man. You see what I'm saying? They didn't know I was doing the next grade level up. When they was out playing in the summer, I was actually doing the next grade levels up work for that school year. They don't see the things that go on in the background. And that's why a lot of times the kids that are the nerds and things of that nature, your Spider-Mans, your Clark Kents, your Bruce Waynes, they don't have to be seen, or when they are seen, they're here. Because they know what they can do. Because they know the hell they've been through. You see what I'm saying? If people don't know your story, you're playing with hot grease that's probably going to get spilled on you. You're going to get burned from it.
Yeah.
Quit playing in the kitchen. You don't know what you're playing with. You see what I'm saying? And that's why you have to know. That's why I never judge a book by its cover. And I never underestimate anyone.
That's
because the people that do the shooting usually the last
motherfuckers you would
think.
Yep.
Jeffrey Dahmer was eating motherfuckers up and nobody even knew. Why? Because he came out the door and he was just, hey.
He landed a motherfucker. Right. One dude, I watched a documentary, they say, asked Jeffrey Dahmer, hey man, it's my sister's birthday.
Yeah.
Can I borrow $60? Jeffrey gave him $60. He was like, that dude gave me $60 for my sister. I never thought he was in there eating motherfuckers. Like, just, you know, you never know what a motherfucker on, man.
It's
you never know.
You never know.
Never know.
You never know.
I mean, but, you know, even feeding off what Tiny said when it comes to, you know, your city backing you, like, I've always wondered, like, how do people, you know, increase that hate? I know it's envy, it's a human feeling. You know, jealousy is a human feeling. Rage, wrath, it's human.
Cain and Abel.
Yeah. So, like, you know, when you're in your city, you know, how do you differentiate that hate from the ones who support you or the fake support? It's just like, what is the point of that if it's going to also turn into hate as you grow up?
I believe if people are being fake to you, that means you're being fake to yourself some way.
Why do you say that?
Because people are a mirror of you. When you go out to the world, this is just nothing but the
But
Matrix.
you can't control other people.
You can't. That's the beautiful part about it.
Okay.
You're not supposed to.
Here's saying that.
The world is a mirrored reflection of who you are and how you think.
Yeah.
He's saying
really
there's some
is.
holes in you somewhere and they see it and they ain't taking you as serious, man.
And those are the things that get reflected to you the most. Those are things you need to operate on and work on. So if you got people in your life that's treating you a certain way or acting a certain way, you need to go look in the mirror and see why.
Have you ever thought, though?
That's a good point.
I would agree when it comes to the dating, like like on the dating scene.
I think in general.
It can be like, especially like with your friends, but even with people that you have no association with, like I can't really say, yeah, this person is mirroring me when I've never had a conversation with them in my life.
I see your point there too.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like I've had friends that treat me poorly. I'm like, damn, like I need to love myself more.
Those motherfuckers you don't need to pay attention to. But to his point, if they in your circle and they being fake towards you, they might see some character flaws that maybe perhaps you could take the Michael Jackson and Brennan standpoint and start with the man in the mirror and figure out.
You have to.
The fuck. Because I've been there. I've been there where I've had to sit back and figure out at different points in my life, why I go through this with this motherfucker? Now, some kind of time the motherfucker could have been just a flawed ass person.
Or do you don't think it's like some people just be in competition with you? It may not even be
Of
like
course. It's a game. The life is a game.
Nobody
everything's a mirror.
Have competition. Of course you are. Yeah. But that's when you know it's a difference between being in competition and being like a Steph Curry or a LeBron James or a Michael Jordan. You get to a certain, or Kobe Bryant, even better.
Where would the competition come from?
The competition, there is no competition.
Where does that come from? Like, what is
Kobe
that word?
Bryant will push himself harder than anybody else.
Why?
So by the time he get to the court, you can't really give this man no competition because he don't put himself through
because
that.
he know who he is, right. And he know what he brings to the table.
But he had to put in the work to get there.
Yep.
That's the thing. Kobe was there before the game started, shooting 1,000 shots. Kobe was there
after the game ended.
It's a certain caliber of character that you carry, or a standard that you carry yourself about or in, that when you step in any arena, literally.
And that's his point. Nobody ever gonna say Kobe ain't show up and do his shit because the effort and the shit Kobe put in, there's no room for discrepancy or debate.
None.
You see what he's saying? Like,
and when you get that locked in, there's nothing that's gonna distract you. Ever seen Kobe when they were playing? I forgot who they were playing, and he's standing on the sideline. They get ready to inbound the ball, but he faked the ball in his face.
Faked the ball in his face, and that nigga didn't even flinch. He just looked at that motherfucker like, nigga.
That motherfucker was scared of shit.
Still gonna score 40 on your motherfucking ass.
When you don't have fear, fear within itself limits you to do anything or not do anything at all.
Damn it, man.
So when you eliminate fear,
what they scared of, 33?
But okay,
Go ahead.
BB's point, I don't know if it's a female thing, but I could be doing my thing with modeling and to her point, there's people who don't know me,
of course,
that don't like that I reached a certain level.
Yep.
You know,
and
they'll be like, you know, and instead of network, because like for me, I'm just like, all you got to do is ask me. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. you know, or, you know, like to your point, like Kobe with the practicing. You want to come practice? Like, I'll tell you. But nope. I don't know if it's an intimidation thing, but sometimes they just don't ask. And rather than ask, you gonna watch my page. You go, you know.
Those are guys. Those will let you know you're on the right track.
And I think, and I would agree with Tiny, like, for me, I got more males in competition, like even including the exes. Like whether it's dating, whether it's in the music industry, I have more males trying to compete with me than females. And it's like, I just don't understand it because I think part of that comes with one, the longevity of it. You know, like, you know, how long have you been doing this? What you should know during this point in your life. And, you know, just kind of agreeing with you, I personally feel like sometimes it can get hard for people to accept the fact that they still got growing to do. I hate when people have counted me out because one of the things, I've had some great coaches. Y'all know one of them. I have had some great coaches. And the thing about it is, I am one of the most resourceful people. I say that with all humility. I'm one of the most resourceful people that somebody can connect with. I don't have a jealous bone in my body. You want to know how I did it? Come to me. You want to know something? Come with me. You know, I'm not going to give you no free handouts so you can copy me. You got to put in the work like I did. That don't mean I'm doing more than you. That don't mean I'm doing it better than you. But I am separating myself from the masses and doing something different that keeps the eyes on me. So, want to know how to do it? Come build with me. But I'm no longer with the level that I'm on. And when I say level, this is not me saying I'm better than anybody. This is not saying I'm doing more. It's just more so with the capacity that I've put in, with the work that I built to myself. How do I make an adjustment for people to build with me when they're in competition with me? Sometimes people just aren't your people. And I somewhat agree with what 33 was saying earlier, but sometimes you don't even know motherfuckers.
But that's I believe that's the beautiful part of life. You're going to have competitors because once again, life is a game.
But is it a competitor if you're not competing?
That's true, but at the same time,
it's like, what am I competing for? We all trying to win.
If you're living life, you're automatically competing.
You compete with yourself.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you're going to be competing with somebody every day you wake up. Once again, whether it's competing with somebody else or competing with that one person in the mirror, which is the most important. You're going to be competing with somebody every single day. It's not whether you're going to be competing; it's how you play the game.
And also to this point, just to piggyback on what all of you said.
Checkers.
If you are a female that has never played a sport, then perhaps competition could be a conundrum for you.
Could be
in contrast to if you play sports or you are, that's why I guess men adapt to it a little better, is because testosterone makes for you to have to be a little more physical. And physicality gives you a little more confidence because to the Kobe Bryant point, once you realize you can master something physically, it gives you a different type of
It does.
You get what I'm saying?
Like
versus if you have to do it verbally or mentally, it can be a little more straining and it might deter you. So that's why, to your point, you know, as a female, okay, I might be feeling like I do this and I do that and all these girls looking at me. Versus, and females do this too, you know, don't get me wrong, but a lot of times men, we more like, man, fuck that, nigga. Show me this. My chest, let me see my little chest, but I still got that motherfucker poked out. You feel me? Like, you gotta be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be like what? Say it again. Gotta be like what?
Put your chest out. Say it with your chest. Little ass nigga. You feel me?
I think when people start copycatting you or they start mimicking you, I think that's the beautiful part
that's
of
flattery.
you. That's flattery.
That's flattery.
Think about Michael Jackson if nobody else was trying to be Michael. When Michael was in his prime, everybody was trying to be Michael. You look up Soul Train, they dress like Michael, dance like Michael. The Pepsi commercials is Michael. You don't, wherever you look during that era,
even in the 2000s, Genuine, Usher, all them boys were still trying to be Michael. He was way out of his prime.
Right. Exactly. So it's all perception. You know, if you operate at a lower level, a lot of times the copycat thing is going to be an issue for you because you'll be like, oh, these people are just trying to imitate me. Well, if they're imitating you, that means one, they're paying attention to you.
Yeah. You doing something?
And how you doing it.
Bingo. So it's all life within itself is all about perception.
I'm gonna say this. I ain't never told y'all this. I'm gonna say this because we on the topic.
Yeah.
After I dropped Franklin Saint, I noticed. Ooh, if I were to be messy and get us 1 million views right now,
Do it.
I ain't gonna do it. It ain't worth it in the grand scheme of things. But listen to this. I noticed at least 5 different artists try to go back and reinvent themselves and come out with an album that was singing and rapping. And I've watched y'all make music for years. And this is a bag you've never got into. But just because I did it successfully and people flocked to it and liked it, now you're like,
Let me try
it was
that.
ridiculous. It was like the same thing people are doing right now with the boots and the people are trendy. And to his point, I didn't take offense to it. That's why you see now I ain't even name dropping. That's just something I take to the grave with me. But I saw you, and I'm flattered by the impact that I had on you to the point where now you wanna melodize and rap.
You know how
Damn, I did that. I let that
not you. That's been your swag, not you.
No, I'm saying for you, from your perception.
Yeah. I thought you were saying no, not you.
No.
But it's a few niggas. Ricky Tan. I say the niggas that have been doing it before I say the people that ain't. You, Ricky Tan,
My brother,
Bronx. You know what I'm saying? Ferris Mueller. It's a few cats that I can genuinely say they been on that wave too. And then there's some other niggas. Like, y'all boys followed that wave pretty good, didn't you?
It's probably dead.
It's this.
Yeah, it's probably dead.
Y'all boys followed that wave pretty motherfucking good, man.
Yeah.
I read a book though that said, if you ever want to do something, there's probably a motherfucker that's already done it.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's about who's going to do it the best. That's it, and own it.
And
At the end
own
of the
it.
day.
And own it.
What can you make it your own? Take what they did and make it your own and put your own twist to it.
I do that all the time in my music.
That's how
You know, a lot of
The
people.
stove in there.
A lot of people will compare my lyricism and my style. Oh, you sound like Nicki Minaj. Well, yeah, she's one of my influences, but I really actually look at Doja Cat and Rihanna. You know, because Nicki, she was back then with the early 2000s, but music over time has changed. So now I have to look at how the industry is changing. I mean, yeah, there's the Cardi B's, the Megan Thee Stallions, but Sexy Reds. I don't make that kind of music. You feel me? I can't alter my recipe to something that is trending, but it's not gonna work for me. Why would I do that? Now I'm being inauthentic.
That makes you authentic. You took it out of my mouth.
Yeah.
That makes it you authentically you, unapologetically you, to no compromise.
Right.
That's fire.
I agree with that.
That's fire.
Like,
right there.
and it's just, I think that's one thing, even with the new trend going on, I've seen, God, now we all know sex sells, okay? But, the Sexy Reds are starting to become more popular. The Shaboozys are starting to become more popular. And it's like, where did your authenticity go? You can always switch lanes, because I tried R&B. I don't even listen to R&B, y'all, to believe it or not. I don't even listen to it. But I do love male R&B because Usher. I love Usher. But the thing is, like, you have to be able to stay true to yourself when it comes to developing your artistry. So I get what you're saying when it comes to influence and impact, but I also think that sometimes, and I've had to learn, 33 made a good point, like, it's flattering. At times you want to, like, I didn't let the fucker copy me. But then again, you're creating a legacy.
A template.
A template. Thank you. Not a legacy. Because
A
legacy
template
got to
for
last.
motherfuckers
Template.
to follow.
And the thing is about it, like, you're making influence. Like, I had a track that I did that I have with Ricky Tan right now. And we used the sample. And it goes like, she likes the way I put it down. Me and Ricky had already had the track done. Everything else. Haven't released it. Next thing you know, I get a phone call from Ricky. I'm like, what's going on? He was like, bro, did you sell the beat to Tory Lanez? What are you talking about? He said, bro, go look at Tory Lanez page right now. Tory Lanez had the same sample. 2 years later. And this is not the first time that done happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the things I do get samples for some places, but some samples I actually make myself. That was a sample I made myself. But I only had 1,000 followers on Instagram. So somebody was watching. Somebody's always watching. That's why I said you have to know who you are because you don't know who's watching. I posted LL Cool J on my page. It went 3 minutes later. He reposted my post. 3 minutes later, that quick. And I'm like, this is my idol. You know what I'm saying? He reposted. You never know who's watching.
He felt that energy.
So
he felt like that energy.
Yeah, exactly.
From miles
of course.
But he said, something about this nigga. He like me. He fuck with me. I'm sharing him.
Yeah, exactly. So you just know that somebody's always watching. Somebody's always being influenced. It don't matter what their status are, who they are. At the end of the day, they're still a human being.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what car you drive. I don't care how big your house is.
What their heart look like.
Thank you. What your spirit and soul look like. 'Cause that's what I'm looking at. I ain't looking at none of that other bullshit. You can keep that and throw it
Your
to the fucking
accolades
side.
don't mean shit. Them degrees don't mean shit.
A goddamn thing. Because I can tell you how many times I've sat down and had 3 hour, 4 hours conversation with the motherfucker with the doctorate, and I was doing the majority of the talking. Yeah.
I mean, you do like to talk, 33.
I do. But it's, everything I speak is, I do. But everything I do is based off of life experience. Like I said, when I put my life into a movie, which it already is, thank y'all for watching.
No, I'm talking about.
Thanks for watching. Pay me for the tickets next time. But when I actually put my life in a movie, people are literally, I think, at the theater gonna be like this. With tears coming down that shit. Because they have no clue. When I tell you, people, and that's why I tell people all the time, especially in Greenville, you don't know me. Mm-hmm. You know a perception of me. Mm-hmm. You don't know me for real.
Yep.
Because if you knew me for real, some of the ways you approach me and talk to me and do the things that you do,
wouldn't even be.
They wouldn't even be.
That wouldn't even be. Yep.
And it's sad that I can go in other cities and other states, and niggas be like, yeah, don't fuck with him. Real Jamaican them whining. Don't touch the rude boy them.
Teddy Brookshire and the boys
don't fuck with rude boy them. We bumbleclad them, the boy will chop you up them boy, you know. Like real, like they know. But people here, they only get the perception.
Yeah.
And I want you to have that perception.
But I think
gotta give me room to operate in this whole other world that you don't get to see.
The bigger picture. Yeah. A lot of people become small-minded because they don't think outside of themselves. It's, well, this is how I see it, so this must be right.
Exactly.
Or this is how my partner see it. Yeah, they make a good point.
And that's
so that must be what it is. And it's like, you will be surprised. You'll be surprised when you start. And a lot of those who are like, well, don't nobody influence me, don't nobody move me, but they do have an influence on you if you're not thinking and looking at things from your own perspective, not building with your people from your standpoint, you know? So I definitely agree, 33.
Yeah, you have to see things, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know why Batman was such a good superhero? And it ain't the fact he's a good superhero, he's actually a bad one. But the reason he's able to take on and capture as many villains or whatever that he does is because he's not really a good guy. Him and Joker never goddamn, you know what? They inseparable. They need each other. Because it's an aspect of the Joker that Batman sees in him, and it's an aspect of Batman that the Joker sees in him. They like fucking this. And even in the last Batman movie, if you look past, after the closing scenes, he goes to see the Joker. And he's looking at the Riddler. He has the Joker looking at the Riddler's file. He went to the Joker to get help with the Riddler. And the Joker's looking at his file and literally saying, wow, this looks fairly familiar. Looks like you. Told Batman, it ain't too far from who you are. You ain't too far from me.
Maybe that's why he couldn't decipher it because...
Exactly. If you know how Batman operates out of anger. He's damn near a villain. Because once you get everything taken away from you, parents gone.
He's the Dark Knight.
Right. He wasn't worried about no damn money. He wasn't worried about no fucking mansion. He wasn't worried about none of that shit. Yeah. The boy barely got out of bed. He see daylight and have to put on shades. Don't like going to business meetings.
Thank God for Alfred.
You know what I'm saying? If it weren't for Alfred, he wouldn't know who he was. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you have to be put in certain scenarios. Once you get put in certain scenarios, your aspect of how you see things become different. That's what makes you efficient. So I think you have to go through life in order to get different perspectives. And that within itself will give you understanding. And I think that's what has been a hindrance for me, but at the same time, a benefit for me. I have understanding what most people won't. That's why I forgive when most people won't. But at the same time, people like, and we have this thing where people don't work out for you, get rid of them, get them out your energy. That's cool. But did God do that to us? And we fuck up every fucking day.
We'd be lost if he felt like that by this.
Thank you. Or whoever you believe in. Imagine if the universe, imagine if you just did one thing and that entity judged you just off of that and dished you to the side.
And you definitely did some shit that was like the extreme for God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe the people in your life is not your test. Maybe you're their test.
Assignment.
And when you don't go fulfill your mission, guess what? You're going to come back down this motherfucker, you're going to do it again till you get it right.
Yeah.
Like
Shit, that's really how life works.
Bingo.
For real.
That movie, seen that movie Soul? Yeah.
So when you see people, especially, I put myself in predicaments, they were like, you really went back there? Yes, but I got, at the end of the day, I got the answer that I needed.
It took 6 times.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I figured that shit.
Are you going to quit? Or are you going to stand fuck up, lace your boots up, and get the fucking work? You know what I'm saying? It's about, you know what I'm saying? Can you put in the work? Motherfucking Navy SEALs could be sitting there eating a goddamn dinner. They get a phone call from Langley with their family. We need you right now. Let's go. The niggas will leave. Hang up the phone. All right, you take the Jeep, blah, blah, blah. Yo, let's go.
I'm putting my food in to go.
It's time to go.
I'm eating my food on the way.
It's time to go. So are you ready to suit up and boot up and get to the fucking business? Or are you going to sit there and look stupid? I'm ready to suit up and boot up in any given time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So most people are not ready to suit and boot and get to work. They could talk about it all day long. Fuck you talking. Show me the action. I don't have to tell you I'm the best producer. I get behind that keyboard and show you. It's a difference. So that's the thing with me. I don't need validation from others. I validate my damn self. And then everything else just kind of surrounds itself around that.
I talk about that in my music. It's actually in the song Used to Be. Like, when you say validation, what do you mean by that?
Validation, it depends on where you're trying to get that validation from. That's validity. It's making substance of yourself. But once again, who's making the substance for you? Is it the person in the mirror or the outside world? If you depend on the outside world to do it, yeah, you're going to constantly be in a hole. If you're looking at yourself and be 100% honest with yourself, and that's the problem with most of us, is we are not really 100% with ourselves. We'll tell ourselves a lie just to get by.
Or to feel good about ourselves.
But until you get to the core of, yeah, I did that. Yeah, yep, that was me. Like Drake said, you probably heard a bunch of things about Drake. True. Because what they're going to stop at the end of the day. If Drake throws a show right now, it's going to sell out.
So in other words, some of you niggas need to look in the mirror and be like, I'm a bitch ass nigga.
That's the only way you're going to get over your bitch ass
I've
nigga.
been a bitch ass nigga since I was 6.
Until you get over that bitch assness, that's who you're going to be
20
for
years
the rest of your life.
How can I change it, motherfucker?
You got to go through life.
Yo, that's funny. But you also have to be coachable as well. Because you can go through life and still make the same mistakes over and over and over.
But it depends on who you're being coached by, because, I mean, the thing is about...
No, I'm not coached by just other people. You have to really sit in your introspection and coach yourself. But you do have to watch who you're being coached by. You're right.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
right.
absolutely. That's why, I honestly, this day and age, I coach myself.
Yeah.
Is it the best idea in the world? No, probably not to other people. But I promise you, I have a perception that most people would never have.
And don't nobody
Because
know
it's
you
mine.
better than yourself.
It's mine. It hasn't been given to me. It hasn't been constructed by anybody else. I built this shit. Me. And when you prove that it's right, when you put your knowledge into certain situations, and you're able to get all the confirmations you need, all the right answers, when you're able to do something and go, that's what I was looking for. It's like the universe go, good, you're on track.
Confirmed.
Thank you. Keep going. And you realize, once again, it's a game.
By George, he's got it.
God, George, he's got it. And that's the thing about it. If I ever had somebody else teach me or coach me or whatever may have you, then yes, because I have listened to other coaches. I have listened to everything else. And at the end of the day, it's a whole bunch of mundane bullshit that they've been told by somebody else. It's regurgitated bullshit. And then I have to ask myself, has that person been in my shoes? Have that person been through the shit that I've been through? Fuck no. So who the fuck are you?
Coaching yourself. Yeah. And I think that has a lot to do with just being honest with yourself.
You have to.
Sometimes, like a lot of people, there's people that will try to tell me about myself. It ain't nothing I don't already know about myself. And a lot of people say, well, Brittany, can't nobody tell you about yourself? Yes, you can. You can, and I'm gonna agree right with you.
I'll be like, true. Next.
You know, and but
what else can you say?
There's also other times, you know, where I have to defend myself because it's like, well, part of what you're saying is true, but I think you got the other part a little misconstrued.
And I don't give a fuck if you got that misconstrued. Because at the end of the day, when I get down in that 6 feet up under that ground, you coming with me? Mm-hmm. When I was born, was your name on my birth certificate?
Can you raise me up out of that motherfucker?
Can you pay a bill for me tomorrow? If not, fuck you and suck my dick.
Slow. I like my dick shit sucked slow.
AR!
Freaky shit. Freaky shit. Let's get it out there. Freaky shit.
Slow and slow.
Slow.
Everything you heard is true.
It's like that random kid on Big Mouth that say random shit. That's AR.
No gay shit.
Well, I turn to say, you down me and a man, I'm gonna kill you. But you suck my dick fast, I'm gonna choke you.
Fucking fools, man.
And that within itself, I think if you're able to have that perception in general, then you're really living a free life.
Yeah.
Freedom.
When you can sit up here and tell me, well, I heard this about you, bitch, it was true. Yes, you did.
But why is you listening to it?
Right, not even that. But where are we going after that? Yeah, you're just talking about myself. Great.
Now what?
You just made a point. Now what?
Now what?
Or how does that impact you?
It don't.
Like, not you, but the person who's, you know,
it leaves them stuck. Because when you start throwing shit at people and then next thing you know, you reach back to grab another and you don't got nothing to throw. What damage are you doing?
Well, you
if
know
I'm
yourself.
able to accept everything you're saying to me because it's true. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about it. Most people get defensive. They throw up that wall because the truth hurts. But if you throw something in my face and I know I did it, yeah, bitch, I did it. Now what?
Now what?
What if it's something that you didn't do?
That ain't my problem either.
So you're not.
So you are willing to take the lie?
Yes, take it. I don't give a fuck what you got to think. When I go look in that mirror every single time, the only motherfucker I need to be telling the truth to is that person.
Okay.
That's the only place where God resides. I don't give a fuck about what this world has to present. That's the trick. That's the ego. Don't put your trust in man whatsoever. Police officers, judge, lawyer, I don't give a fuck who you are. At the end of the day, as long as you're a human and you doing this just like me, fuck you.
Yeah. You put your one leg in the pants leg.
Yeah, because people can give you talk all day long, but I done have people, I do this and I do that, and I've gotten in situations with people where I depended on them to be that person, and they hid like a fucking baby. Mm-hmm. And you know who had to stand up? The man that never talked shit. Because I am the shit. I prepared for those situations. Yes. So I didn't have to talk about it. When those situations came along, I was able to handle it. That's when that's the difference between talking and doing. I don't give a fuck what you say you can do. Show me. And once you do that, then I'll take everything you have to say for what it is. But until then, I don't give a fuck about what you say. They're just words.
No, you're right. So,
quiet
moment. You get a smile at the end.
Look.
For sure.
So, last subject is we recently seen Glorilla went under the knife. She got the nose job. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, I guess they're on the fence about it. I personally thought she looked fine just without the titties, without the nose. Mm-hmm. Now the teeth. Yeah, girl, you did a good one with that. Like, get them teeth done. But everything else, I thought she was fine, by herself. But I feel like, I don't know, the media or somebody done influenced this girl to where she felt like she had to go under the knife,
Because she first said that she wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And that's what I liked about her, because she's skinny and petite like me. So I'm like, oh, yeah, you putting us on and everything like that. And then she got titties. I'm like, wait a minute now. Hold on.
The titties was okay, though.
No, they was not. Okay.
Brandon,
we was in the itty-bitty titties.
What you think about it?
I mean, Glorilla, when it comes to the augmentation, and anybody with the augmentation,
he talked about the titties.
the chest, the titties. I mean, they're cool. They
don't disagree with that.
Titties is cool.
But it don't make the break it.
She was fine. Yeah,
it don't make it break it. That's what make you feel better. But
at the end of the day,
titties, cameraman.
For Glorilla.
I thought Glorilla was bad regardless.
Yeah.
Without the titties.
But do you like the titty aesthetic?
I mean, when I was young, I used to be a titty man. Now that I've gotten older, I'm an ass man. I take it with titties.
You don't like the grab the titty?
I take it with titties.
Oh, he mad?
I can't F the titties, so F the titties.
Fuck them titties, okay? Thank you.
If you can, drink. You can't fuck it.
Alright, they know. Alright, I just had to interject.
No, I'm just saying she was fine without the titties.
Yeah. And I remember like in 2022, I had opened up for Glorilla, and she had a little nini. She was skinny, petite, and she looked the fuck good. And I think that's with women in the industry. I've been influenced. You know, people be like, Brittany, get your ass done. Baby, why? Do you see all of this? Why do I need to get it done? You feel me? Like, it could be a little bit bigger, but at the end of the day, I don't have to have the approval from nobody. I don't need that validation. You feel me? Yes, this is what the media wants to see. Yes, my fans want to see this, but my talent, my skill speaks for itself. I don't need to give y'all nothing else that's not really me, because I know I can do my big one, my big shit, and still keep your attention without you having to look at my voluptuous body. I don't need all of that. You feel me? So, when I opened up for her, she was very, skinny, petite, but it's like, as far as the nose job, I don't know why she did that, okay? But I liked her old nose, to be honest.
I thought her old nose was fine.
I liked it. It was really her, like you could tell, that's the Glorilla nose. That's her. But now it's the change, and it's like, what was the influence? I don't know. Really
what
ain't
made you want to change your nose in 2025? That's so old school.
That is old.
We've embraced our
black noses.
Our black noses at this point. It's a thing. So why?
You should have learned that from Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Michael and Janet was the prototypes for fucking that up. The fuck is going on?
You start getting under that knife, it becomes repetitive. Like,
it's addictive because you never can redo what God did.
Yeah.
So you're gonna forever be fucking up from here on out. If you rearrange what God did, good luck, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
It's once again, person you look at in the mirror.
You think it's an insecurity?
Unless it's your titties.
Absolutely.
If God gave you some little ass titties and you think, okay.
Tiny said, baby, I love my little nitty.
I like little titties.
I put it in.
First of all, I walk around shirtless all the time.
I like
These bitches sit up, okay?
Don't get me wrong. I like little titties. But if you
But I'm so on the hand, the big titty girls.
I don't think that's bad.
I tell females all the time. You worried about all these BBLs
Don't
and these
sit next to me
titties.
no more.
One of the sexiest motherfuckers to walk this goddamn planet was Aaliyah. That motherfucker didn't have an ass, she didn't have no titties. But that motherfucker's spirit and that face was just so fucking beautiful. And when she sang, people don't get that. It's not your outside. It's your spirit. And if people can't see you for your spirit and your soul, they're just an NPC. Just keep walking. They're just people in the background.
NPC? That's what you're saying?
Non-playable character. They're just in the background to fill up space. You ever play GTA? You just see people in the side and they're just standing there, they're just walking back and forth. Oh!
I be trying to hit that with my car.
Like you
Run them over.
That's all to make. This is a game, man. So don't worry about that dumb shit, because the same NPC that told you to feel bad about yourself, they got told for somebody else to tell you that.
Well, I even feel like with the BBLs, like, to be me's point, trying to get your ass done, I feel like that's a trend now. And I feel like later on, who knows, 10 years from now.
I can't wait till these motherfuckers turn 70 and 80.
But it's fat. It's real fat
that
to
fat
your ass.
Maneuver itself somewhere else.
It's not the fat. It's not the same fat that's in your ass.
It's not.
The fat that's in your stomach grows differently than the ass fat.
Oh, so y'all teaching me something. That's why I ain't never been in
they
life.
get flat and shit.
Yeah, you still gonna start seeing some deteriorating boobs around 50, 60, 70. I promise you that.
You have to keep doing it.
Yeah. You got to keep doing that. That's a maintenance thing.
Oh,
so you
hell no. Just like my fucking pockets.
So when you got these girls that just got her tax goddamn, you know what I'm saying? She went over there to do it at one time because she had a little extra change, but she can't maintain it. I promise you, when she about 50 or 60.
Just like the titties you got to maintain. Your veneers. The veneers. You have to
maintain them.
You got to go and get them redone.
Yeah.
In intervals, however long, according to what you got.
So
I agree.
You wouldn't do anything, BB?
Fuck no, man. No. Hell no.
I ain't all mention shit.
Like, one, I got enough ass. You feel me? There was a time about, like, end of 2023. Baby, I looked the fuck good. If y'all go watch that Slaughter Your Daughter video, that pressure video, I was skinny mini. I was like 150, 145. Baby, I'm a good old 180 now. Now, I'm spilling out the top a little bit. But the thing about it is, since I'm already hyper independent, hardworking, I'd rather just go work it off. Now, there's some people that have health issues, like 400 pounds, 350, and it's like, yeah, that working off, you can do it, but it might be a little tougher for you because now after you done worked out, now you got to get the excess fat removed. Yeah. So it's just like, I see why in some circumstances, but it's all about how you taking care of yourself.
Yeah. That at the end of the day.
That's a lot, and it has a lot to do with your spirit. Yep. I don't feel the need to change myself, especially my external. Because one, shit, I still pull niggas at the end of the day. And number two, I've already accepted myself for who I am. Why am I gonna go and change what my higher power has already given me? Exactly. And it looks beautiful.
Now I will say this, to a certain extent, and that's great. Mm-hmm. My problem is sometimes is like the BBW situation. I love big women. Lord knows I do. But at the same time, where I get a problem with BBWs, if you're 300-400 pounds or whatever may have you, and you get comfortable there. It's not a matter of being confident. Honey, I'm scared you might have a heart attack.
Yes. I'm worried about that.
And that's my thing. It's okay to be big. It's okay to be beautiful. And that's how your body naturally postures. Even if you lose the weight, fine. But don't sit up here and stuff yourself full of cheeseburgers every day.
Because it's now
claim it's sexy.
But that's what the people with the BBLs, though.
That's the danger in normalizing bullshit.
Yeah, they might not.
That's the danger.
Well, the people who get BBLs, if you don't work out, then guess what? Yeah. You gonna gain it right back.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could still have
I've seen so many people
issues
on the weight and loss journey for the past 3 years, and they done goddamn dead the same weight. Because they'll go to the gym, they get on TikTok, climbing the stairs, they losing, then go, next thing you know, well, I'm eating at here today, and they got a big ass plate of food. What are you doing with yourself? You know what I'm saying? And that lets you know where that person is mentally too.
And spiritually.
You can't make a decision for yourself.
Or you doing it for the wrong reason.
Or you doing it for the wrong reason.
Or you're allowing your cravings and your urges to overcome your discipline. Because urges and desires and temptations.
Oh yeah, that's fucking natural.
Motherfuckers will eat you alive.
That's fucking natural.
If you are not self-aware and in control of yourself, you have to have. It's okay to be motivated, but motivation is just temporary. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm motivated to go to the gym. I'm motivated to go drop this single. But are you disciplined enough to be consistent? And is your consistency matching the progress you're making? Because I've known people that work out and eat healthy for 3, 4, 5 months, but it's like, I've only lost 5-10 pounds. What are you doing differently? Like, are you setting time aside to really evaluate and have the self-awareness to monitor yourself?
Right. I think everything is done with an intention too. Mm-hmm. Because I've had a lot of people work out. I've seen a lot of guys work out every fucking day and they died fucking 50 from a heart attack. Mm-hmm. And they still was in shape and everything else. It's a lot of other factors that get involved. Stress can kill you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's not only about protecting your physical. More importantly, it's about protecting your mental. Mm-hmm. Because there was a point in time where
powerful.
I lost, 40, 50, 60 pounds. And people were like, how did you do it? I done gained some back now. But they were like, how did you do it? Did you step foot in the gym? I didn't step foot in the gym. I changed my mind.
Mm-hmm. But
that's all it was.
Have y'all seen the new Wizard of Oz movie with Ariana Grande, how skinny she got.
Wicked.
They say she got she's
I heard that
really
was
stressed.
I don't even want to speak on that
she was really
situation.
stressed about Mac.
I don't even want to speak on that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that was the lupus making her look like that.
It's deeper
It
than
could
that.
be. There's people that get like, for instance, when I get stressed, I get really skinny. Like they
And
ain't
drained in the
Yeah.
face.
It's the
I
difference
get
between
drained
getting
in the
skinny and your whole
face.
facial feature change.
Yeah.
Nah, it's deeper than that. We're going to talk about that on this podcast.
Well, I'm just saying,
But
like,
it's deeper than that. Yeah.
it can happen.
It can happen, but
You
I
know.
know in her case, that's not what happened. No.
Why do you know
Yeah,
everybody? Why do you think you know
case.
everybody's story?
I don't know everybody's story. I just go based off of what has been given to me. That's it.
Yeah.
And once again, once you understand what you're in, you realize we operate off of patterns.
You
Yeah,
talking about
that's true.
Flo or Ariana? talking
Ariana, just life in general, you operate off of patterns. But you just have to see deeper than what the perception is given to you. I don't operate off of the standard programming that has been uploaded within my software. No.
So, with Glow, do you feel like it's an insecurity or
It could be a mix of things. We don't know.
I think it's the trend.
stress?
At
Because
the
like
end of the day, exactly what
She,
the words
her,
will be
her
saying.
music is
I think-
selling.
Yeah,
she can pull niggas. Like
she could.
She can pull niggas. So it's like, what is the reason?
It could be a whole bunch of different things. It could be the industry telling her to do it. It could be her insecurities. It could be, we don't know. And that's the thing about it.
she
that's
just
why I
seems
don't
so
spend-
confident. Even like in her music, she's very
Yeah.
confident. So, just like I wouldn't see somebody like that. That's why I'm kind of like, to be me's point, like I'm kind of almost disappointed. Like you said you wasn't gonna do this. Like you was talking that shit and like you still did it. So it's just like, and it's not a loss. Like it's her body. It ain't affected me in no way, shape, or form. But I was just
Right.
like, damn. Like to AR's point, you can't take it back. You
Right.
can't put your nose back on.
That's why you don't let people influence you, because the same people that'll tell you, yeah, do this, do that, do this, or don't do this, do that, and then they go and do it.
Or be condescending about it after.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just like I don't listen to what people have to say or anything like that. Once again, I have a personal relationship with who I need to have it with, and that's how I make all of my decisions. When I say all of them, I mean all of them.
I think people rely too much on validation though.
Yeah, I don't
Like
give a fuck whether you
outside-
validate me or not.
Well, yeah. I mean, and people can say
two
like
fucks.
all day long, like not you, just in general. Like people can say all day long, well, fuck these niggas. I don't care what people think, and it's just like,
Then they do.
but and it's like, but you're doing the opposite. Like, what's going on within yourself to where you can't validate yourself, whether it's affirmations, whether it's support, whether it's building your own connections. Like, what in you is altering that perception to where you feel the need to be validated?
Because they like to be lied to. Once again, until you can go look at yourself in the mirror and tell the truth to yourself, you will want to be validated. You need some type of external something until you can get in front of the mirror and tell yourself the truth of who you are. You would never be anything in your life, because
The
like
positive
I said,
and the negative.
yeah, positive and the negative. Like I said, once you get in the mirror and you're able to go, yep, that's me. Yeah, you did this. I did.
I did do that shit.
And I might do it again.
But I need to do better.
Right. But that's life. That's life. It's only certain motherfuckers. And even Jesus himself, when they say he was the only perfect being to walk the planet, Jesus wasn't even perfect. Once again, if that's the case, then why the hell he look up and say, why has thou forsaken me? You had a false thought in your head. That was one thing that made you vulnerable. That what made you human. At the end of the day, you still getting fucked over by the people that you're supposed to be helping. You're hanging on a fucking cross. You don't know what the fuck to do. That for that split second, you still was a human. But the whole point of elevating and getting out of that is to show that, yeah, I'm human. Yeah, I make mistakes. But look what happened when I'm not only 100% truthful with myself, but I'm 100% truthful with y'all. I know exactly who I was.
So how
And
can you
even
learn
knowing that, I still had my own flaws and vulnerabilities. But I still kept my eyes on who I was. Now, even though you done destroyed this physical body, now I'm finna come back in a different manner and show you that I still exist. Matter of fact, I want to come and show you. You saw this? You see these holes in my head? Yeah, y'all did that. Mm-hmm. And I still forgive you.
Because that's who I am.
That's who I am.
That's who I
That's
am.
not who you told me to be. That's not how you formulated to be. And if I was going off the programming that the world is giving me, I should come back and set all y'all motherfuckers on fire. But I'm not going to do that yet. But it's coming. I'm just not going to do it right now. And the way I'm coming back this time is not going to be this. I've already given you this. You took it. Congratulations, bitches. Now I'm finna come back in the mass, I'm finna come back in a consciousness, in a way of thinking.
The consciousness.
Now, instead of you seeing one single person, now I'm Lucy after she goddamn disappeared and now she's in the mainframe. Now I control your software and your hardware. Now, I don't care what programming you put in it, it's still gonna operate off of me. My Windows. You see what I'm saying? It's Windows at the end of the day. It's just a computer system. So now, those people that are operating in Windows 7, you're gonna have to operate in Windows 11. And all your systems are not gonna work in Windows 11. They're operating in Windows 7. So either you're gonna grow and you're gonna either have programming that is gonna work with this system, or two, I could delete your memory and then we just start fresh with the shit that will work. Done.
Talking, brother.
Well, we is coming to a finish, and B33 is going to. What are you gonna do, B33?
That's a good question. You're supposed to be cooking up a little something, you know what I'm saying?
Show 'em
cooking
what you
up
got.
a little something.
What kind of vibe you finna give us, B33?
That's a good question. What type of vibe we feeling? I just got to get over here and see.
Make something.
You know what I'm saying? What y'all want to hear? Yo, what's happening, man? It's your boy Brandon Hobbs, a.k.a. B33 Beats in the building. We're going to show y'all the production process and how I make everything work. We're going to be working off the MPC 61 machines, brand new machine for me. So I'm still learning it, but it's a lot of great qualities to it, and I'm going to show you how I get down. You dig? So,
baby.
So what I normally do in this process is I get a lot of my inspiration from samples. Like I get other producers and guys that I'm actually signed myself. I do have my own production team, and they will send me stuff. So what I do is a lot of times I get the sample, listen to a whole bunch of them, see which ones I like, and then just build off of that. You know what I'm saying? And just take it and build a beautiful masterpiece. So we're gonna go through some samples and we can see what we can chop up and see what we can make happen. You heard? Let's see. Let's see what we got. That's a vibe right there. Like that? All right. So say for instance, we'll take something like that, right? And let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and drop it in. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna find that particular sample. Yeah. So we'll run with that. We'll make sure we get our tempo right. 84. You dig? Once we get that, then that's the main sample, that's the main melody. I'll probably go ahead and drop some drums in just to get the vibe going and see what we can do. You heard?
Why don't you split it?
Put it in my shot.
Word. All right, bet. So what we're gonna do? Actually.
They really is.
He
See
is.
what I deal with.
That's why I told you. I said, how you put up with this?
Real quick, simple. Keep it simple. Yeah. Right there. Okay. That'll work. Gonna overdub this kick real quick. So now we got the basics of the foundation, then we're just gonna add some stuff to it real quick. Add a couple of keys, and we've done. You heard? Keep it simple, baby. You heard?
Keep it simple, baby. You know.
Oh, messed up. Messed up a little bit. It's all right. Something with that. I got the quantize on there. I got to take it off, but you get the gist. So that's pretty much the whole process from the beginning to the end, really, besides mixing the beat and breaking it all down. It's really just about finding your melody, getting the basics of it, get your drums, put a couple of sounds on top of it, and just make it all one beautiful piece of art. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, that's what we got. I get my boy off or somebody talented like Be Me, get on it, and you're done. Type shit. You did. It's your boy B33 in the building, man.